Now to breaking news, a tsunami watch has been issued for the Washington coastline following a massive magnitude 8.7 earthquake off Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula this afternoon. It struck at 4:25 p.m. our time. The U.S. Geological Survey says a tsunami watch is issued when a tsunami may later impact that watch area. This is a live look at the National Tsunami Warning Center's website, and you can see where the tsunami alerts are. Japan's meteorological agency just upgraded their tsunami warning to an alert level. Japan could see waves of up to 3 meters across the Pacific coast. So far, no damage has been reported. There's also a tsunami warning for the entire state of Hawaii tonight. The earliest estimated time of arrival is 10:17 tonight, our time. We're joined now by Chief Meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell with more on this earthquake and the potential of a tsunami happening on our coastline. Shan?
Yeah, thank you, Mary. We've had a lot of action around the so-called Pacific Ring of Fire in the last couple of weeks. A lot of alerts lately about earthquakes happening, but this one was a big one, as we talked about there, happening around 4:30 our time, as you mentioned, just off the coastline of Russia. Initial magnitude estimated at 8.7, so that is a big one. Just to review how this eventually can translate into a tsunami. Remember, an underwater earthquake like that can cause quite a stir, especially when it's so extremely large. 8 to 9 in magnitude is a very large earthquake. It sends a big push of water upward and starts the wave action going. Now, when ships encounter these waves propagating across the sea, they're very shallow, barely a blip, barely notice it. The problem is when the wave arrives at the continental shelf and the water becomes shallow and the wave is forced upward, and that's when you end up with a tsunami. So far, the West Coast, including Washington, under a tsunami watch. That means a tsunami is possible. It could be downgraded or upgraded in either direction. So far, the predicted wave arrival times between La Push and Westport, so the West Coast, 11:30 to midnight, and here around the interior of the northwest corner, Bellingham to Port Angeles, between 12:20 and 1:10. Again, no tsunami definitely happening yet. This could get upgraded or downgraded either way. Stay tuned for alerts and prepare to take action as necessary. Back to you.
All right, Shannon, thanks. So we're joined now live by Harold Tobin from the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network. Harold, thanks so much for joining us tonight, especially with such short notice. I want to ask you this first. Should there really be any cause for real concern at this point along our coastline?
Along our coastline, I would say people should be cautious and stay aware, but the cause for concern is not large. I don't think people should panic. A tsunami watch is a lower level of alert than a warning or a tsunami threat message. What it means is pay attention to what updates are coming. Stay out of being actually down on, let's say, jetties at the water, dangerous places at the water line. I really don't anticipate a damaging tsunami in the Puget Sound region, or it's relatively unlikely even for the Pacific coast of Washington. But this is a message that says it could well be coming, and it may be small, but we have to keep alert.
Harold, I'd like to ask you about the height of tsunamis. Oftentimes we hear about this, the watches, the warnings go out, and we might say they're looking for a tsunami 2 feet high, 3 feet high. If you just listen to that, you might think, well, what's the big deal? It doesn't seem very high. That's not the concerning part. Can you describe what makes a tsunami so dangerous, even the 2-foot tall, 3-foot tall tsunami waves?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, right, a 2-foot wave doesn't sound like much of anything, does it? But imagine instead the tide rising by 2 feet in the span of 30 seconds or a minute or something like that. It would be a rush of water coming in. A tsunami wave is not a short wave that just breaks. It's a very, very long train of water that's coming in at that higher water level. And as it comes into shallow water, it slows down and piles up. It builds up to a higher level. So even a small tsunami in the open ocean can turn into a dangerous one at the coastline.
Well, Harold Tobin, thanks so much for joining us tonight, and we appreciate all the information. We'll touch base with you if we need you here pretty soon, but thanks so much for being with us here on KOMO News at 6.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Officials in our state will use new technology known as dart buoys to determine the threat of a tsunami to our state. KOMO meteorologist George Waldenberger recently did a story on dart buoys. To see it, just scan the QR code. It'll take you to a story on the KOMO YouTube page.